Welcome back, Sports Card Culture Podcast number 32, John. July 13th. Here we are, post July 4th.
What players are on today?
This is in honor of, I would say, the great Hibbing native, not Bob Dylan, the other one, Mr. Kevin McHale, Gopher, Hall of Famer.
The thing about McHale, whenever you watch him play, didn't look like he could play very well. He didn't like tall.
He didn't look like he was as athletic as
he had no
was.
muscles.
Yeah, him and Bird are underwhelmingly athletic, but they were way better. You know what I mean? Like they didn't wow you like Jordan, but like Larry Bird's like a top 10 player.
Is it like
probably.
a lack of
he
weight
probably should be.
Made him more agile?
I don't know. Let me ask you this question, trivia question. Do you know who the point guard was for the Gophers with Kevin McHale? Do you know who the starting point guard was?
No. Him and Winfield played together, though, right?
I'm trying to think. They might have overlapped. Yeah, Winfield, I think, is a couple years older.
I don't know Gopher.
Flip Saunders.
Oh, yeah, sure.
T-Wolf's coach. Yeah.
Sure.
So he actually, it's funny to think because he was really small.
Yeah.
Like he was, I want to say, like 5'10"
But McHale was a big man. But he wasn't. He was tall. He just wasn't imposing.
I mean, he had a really good post game. Like he was very fundamentally sound. He was like Tim Duncan before Duncan, like the big fundamental.
Okay. There you go.
I mean, now his shot was the hook shot versus Duncan's bank shot.
Yeah.
Not a lot of guys did the hook post like the Kareem McHale.
Early 80s, that kind of stopped.
It kind of stopped. Like that wasn't the big
Jabari was still playing.
Yeah, but it kind of died with him. Yeah.
Although, you know who was hitting some weird shots with Ayton. Makes that weird, like,
Ayton's
I don't know what it's called.
Man,
like, he grabbed it, and he's about, 5 feet away, 6 feet away, and he does that little bloop.
It's not like a floater because a floater's like a little guy deal.
Yeah, and it's not a hook shot because a lot of times he's facing the basket. Not to the side. And so I don't know what that is, but I like it. It's like 7 feet, 5 feet.
Yeah, I like Ayton. I like Ayton's game. I mean, Ayton is definitely not as good offensively as he is defensively.
But keep hitting that shot.
Yeah. So 32 podcasts in, John. What are your thoughts so far about the podcast?
I think so. I've been looking at a number of other people that are talking cards and doing stuff, and I'm hoping that we can get some things so people can discover the podcast more.
Yeah.
I think it's hard for me to compliment. Okay, I'll compliment you because it's hard for me to compliment myself. I think it's the best podcast there is.
I love it. I mean, obviously.
Like, I can't. I go on, and it's not that I'm saying, other podcasts. I'm just I think the content that we provide is unparalleled.
And it's not hypothetical, theoretical. I mean, there's a lot of practical stuff where it's like we're actually in the trenches kind of doing it.
Right. I mean, I was watching one where there was 3 people. They went to the Wisconsin Dells card show, and they're like, "So what'd you get?" And they're like, "Well, I didn't buy anything." And then the other person goes, "Well, what'd you get?" And they're like, "Well, I didn't buy anything."
Yeah.
And then the third person who was a guest, they're like, "Well, I didn't buy anything either." Like, really? There's 3 people on a sports card podcast.
And you guys all went to a show.
Went to a show with 300 dealers, and there wasn't anything to buy? And I'm going,
wow. In between me working the booth, I was able to find some time to buy some pretty interesting stuff.
Well, I mean, a pack. Like, who can't, like, just go, I'll buy a pack of whatever for $10. Something.
Well,
I don't know.
Let me compliment you, John. I'm going to share a quote with our listeners. I posted it on Facebook. I don't know if you read it.
I did. It's one of
my favorite quotes of all time. And this relates to the podcast. It also relates to everyone listening who's just going for it.
Oh, by the way, if you are listening, we got some things with YouTube not sharing our stuff, so we're not getting out there. But if you're listening, thank you so much.
Subscribe.
We're really happy that you're getting something out of it.
So this hit me. This is the cool part is I just bought a house. So this week I've been packing up stuff. And the fun part about packing is I get to decide what I'm taking with me. Well, I was looking through a bunch of books I had, and I came across this quote. I hadn't read it in, I don't know, a couple of years. I'll tell you who it's from afterwards, but this is the quote. "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred, by dust and sweat and blood, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly.
Right.
Theodore Roosevelt, Teddy.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. I mean, and that's boiled down a lot to the riches go to those who show up.
Yep.
Success
is not being perfect, it's being willing to fail. It's being willing to try something. Like this for us is a whole new experience for us.
Right.
And it's been something that's anytime you do something that stretches you, whether it's uncomfortable or not, it produces growth. Even if it's not a perfect success in every way.
Well, I mean,
much like business, much like relationships.
I've had so I started taping some videos after a year and a half of listening to Gary Vaynerchuk telling me to do it. I swear to God, he was talking to me.
Yeah.
He wasn't talking to anybody else. Just talking to me.
Yeah.
And
you had ears to hear.
I bought a webcam 3 months after I started listening to him. It took me a year to do the first video because the whole concept, like, who the hell wants to listen to me?
Right.
And then started doing them. And, I actually had, in 2019, I had one fan who heard my voice at a booth and was like, he's like, what I call my video sold. I call my video sold because I would just go through the stuff that I sold. He goes, sold by John. Like, what?
Nice.
Hey,
That's awesome.
Gave the guy a hug, man. I'm like, what's
awesome.
up? You're the guy watching.
And if one person has benefited, it's been worth all the hundreds of hours that we've recorded.
Yeah, I mean, we do put a lot of effort in it. There's been a decent amount of success, and part of the reason why I'm willing to keep pushing on, is I really do think this can be something bigger, a lot bigger than what it is.
Yeah.
But the problem is we got 3 people that have no idea what they're doing in terms of outreach.
Yeah,
I literally don't know.
Well, and I think part of it is this gives us opportunity to grow the content. And I think I heard this saying back in the day, and this is related to like a Christian revival in Wales back in the day. The Welsh revival is called. Their famous line was, "You don't have to advertise a fire." Meaning they never marketed the real thing because word of mouth around something that's actually good. Like, do you know what I'm saying? There's how many things have you been benefited by where it was because it actually was either a quality product, a great experience where someone shared it with you. You know what I mean? So like sometimes marketing is put behind things that aren't deserving of being marketed as much as that. Do you know what I'm saying? So like I don't think over marketing is good, but I also think
you get the widespread, like that company that comes out of nowhere because the marketing is everywhere.
Yep.
And they get a lot of customers, and then eventually you never hear about them anymore because they can't deliver.
Well, and for us even, like, it's interesting because we kind of birthed this thing in the midst of the boom. And now in some ways I would say we've had like a little lull. I'm very curious to see how the National is, because partly I just read that they're sold out of like VIP tickets, which I don't know if they're limiting that more.
They reinstituted a VIP ticket. The reason why they're sold out is because the VIP tickets come with autographs.
That's right.
And obviously there's not unlimited autograph. But they have a new VIP pass that's just sans autographs.
Yep.
So no.
Okay.
And so that's
just
cool.
attendance. Yeah.
So I don't know if there's some limit.
I have numerous customers though who told me at the show this weekend in Bloomington or at the shop in the last couple of weeks that they're going to the National for the first time. Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of first-time National attenders.
It wouldn't surprise me if it breaks all the records for attendance by a lot.
Yep.
And half of the attendance is first-time.
Yeah.
First-time people.
Yeah, because Chicago's the best place to attend, and it's also been 2 years, and it's also
there's so many reasons.
Everything's lining up towards it being a phenomenal show. Now it's interesting because obviously July is the lull for like everything on eBay, right? It's kind of like we've hit the All-Star break is today for baseball. It's All-Star game, so it's literally like the middle of the summer. We're right there, and then now from here out, it's getting closer to football season, school starting, fall,
and that's
regular
when business starts kicking back up.
And then all of a sudden you move into the fourth quarter, and it's like which is our best quarter every year.
Now here's the thing about sports cards though, and a card shop, and this is you've had your store how long?
We celebrated 5 years this last May.
So is that 4 fourth quarters or 5 fourth quarters?
This will be our fifth fourth quarter.
So you've been through fourth quarters, so
Yep.
I don't want to be too aggressive with it.
Yeah.
Since I've been through one.
Yeah.
But our fourth quarter is not as big as a general retailer's fourth quarter.
No, but we are
Right.
definitely. I would say
It's not doing 75% of our sales.
No,
but there's a marked
But
bump.
when you think about gift giving, sports memorabilia, sports cards, like it is disposable income that's being spent.
Right.
And the fourth quarter is the time where people like, and to my point about even the summer, I think some of the lull in July. Now, this last card show this weekend was good.
I heard that.
It was well attended. Now I think people might be like saving up money for the national, so that's a thing too. So I mean, even cards on eBay, like we're actually running right now. I just told Mike, I'm like, let's run all our Giannis's to auction that are going to end this Sunday. The series probably won't be over yet, but like I'm like, it's hard to think of a time where the guy's going to be higher, other than he would have been higher.
But you're gonna have to wait so long to get to that point.
And so he's won 2 MVPs, and now he's in the final. It's like, what's a better time? Like,
Right.
if now is not the time to sell him, let's just sell him, and then we'll, because otherwise it's going to be like you said, it's not going to be. Till
Well, I think
next
that's all the
season.
off season. You got to wait till you have a good season, then maybe go to the playoff again. Well, you're a year down the road, and you got a whole bunch of new Giannis.
And we'll have a bunch of more. Yeah, so it's like
you'll get more between now and then,
right?
So how was the show for you then? So this is the club show.
The club show, Bloomington. Yep. So I think this is gonna be the last one where it's only one day. I think it's gonna go back to Saturday, Sunday next month. Well attended, actually. It was a little bit
the last
worse
one was
weather.
Little rough. Right?
A little rough, yeah. June, July, August are generally a little rougher. I didn't do the dollars. It's hard to. I mean, part of it is I'm like, 3 years ago, this would have been a phenomenal show.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
well,
relative.
That and sometimes your dollars are skewed by. I did a commercial bulk deal with somebody. Well, does that really count?
Yeah, I could have done that. No, it's not really connected to the show.
Right.
And to be honest, both Mike and I unfortunately forgot to send the email, so I only split a table. So I only had 2 cases, so I split it with another guy. But I had some people there that said that were first time set up.
Oh, nice.
That so Alex,
a couple
my
people
buddy,
dropped out then.
Yeah.
Or
no,
didn't
they added.
send an email.
No, they added some people.
Oh, they did.
I think
okay.
they're
how?
They were limited because of COVID. Now they're able to have more tables. They had to limit. They had to limit like 40 dealers,
That's so funny.
and now they're able to do like 55.
So they okay. So I mean, I know we have plenty of stories about the silliness of COVID rules.
Also,
so it was like you had to limit the dealers, but the attendance was unlimited. What the hell is the point?
I don't even ask the questions.
No, but you know what I'm saying?
There's
like
no logic, right?
They didn't. It's not like they were limited attendees. So what difference does it make if we had 10 more tables?
Right.
That's
now
hilarious.
the weather wasn't super hot, so it wasn't a super nice day, which I think helped.
No.
But that in the summer, especially, the show ends real abruptly at about 3. It just everyone's like, okay, we're going to do whatever we're doing now. Right. But a lot of people were talking about going to Chicago.
That's awesome.
And so, I mean, there was people definitely buying things. What's selling right now, the 2 hottest sellers, I think, were Guerrero and Ohtani, which is no surprise. Obviously, they're both playing really well. Also, Tatis baseball was
I got a question for you, and this is good for Evan, too. Let's say everything stays relatively the same.
Yep.
Is there any chance Vladimir wins the MVP over Ohtani? I mean, there's no chance, right?
No, I mean, not unless
0% chance.
Changes.
No, that's what I'm saying. Everything stays kind of the same.
Oh, for sure if it stays the same.
Right? Because I think Vlad's got him by like 1 cat hitting, and Ohtani pitches.
Yeah, Ohtani's just
like
Ohtani's having
any of the good pitchers.
Ohtani's having an all-time record season when you consider he's doing both.
But like I'm reading articles where they're like, "Oh, looks like it's going to be a battle." How? How is it going to be a battle?
It shouldn't be.
Babe Ruth
unless somehow Guerrero wins the Triple Crown, which would take his average. He would need a lot to win it, right?
Even if he won the Triple Crown.
If he wins the Triple Crown, he should win the MVP.
No. Because let's say, what if he wins the Triple Crown?
It hasn't been done since what, Cabrera?
Now here's the thing: Ohtani's not going to battle him on batting average. But if he wins the Triple Crown because he beat Ohtani by 2 home runs and 1 RBI, but Ohtani has 8 wins and a 2.93 ERA.
Yeah.
Or a 3.12 ERA.
Well, so the question is,
what are we doing?
I mean, you almost have. Do you view Ohtani's? Here's a question for you: do you view Ohtani's statistics?
He's number 1 in average now.
Is he?
Yeah. No. Ohtani's hitting, 289.
So, but what do you? So
whatever.
do you view Ohtani's stats separate, or do you combine? Like,
combine them.
But I'm saying
MVP, most valuable player.
But I'm saying, what kind of weight do you give to pitching over like defense? Because other guys are playing defense. Now they're not impacting the game like a pitcher. But
a pitcher is way more impactful.
No.
I mean,
but I'm saying, are we just elevating that because
I'll put it
of
this way:
the position?
if Ohtani was doing what he's doing and he had a 5.23 ERA. And I'd be like, okay. I mean, it's an average pitcher, which, by the way, you should add on, but it's not that big of a deal. But that's not what he's doing.
Sure.
I mean, he's top. I know he doesn't get as many innings, but he's top 10 pitcher, top 15 pitcher.
Yeah.
And he's second best hitter. Let's give Vlad a better hitter, right?
Yep.
So he's the 15th best pitcher and the second best hitter. Like he's MVP.
He should be MVP.
I mean,
but I'll say this much: it reminds me of Justin Jefferson and Justin Herbert. Jefferson broke all the records, and he didn't win it because of the position. And in a lot of ways, Guerrero is unfortunate that he's running this season into an all-time great season.
Now,
of a pitcher
where Ohtani can get knocked is he's a DH, and he's not in the field.
The rest of the time, he's not in the field, right?
Does he ever play in the field? Yeah, never plays the right field or anything.
Pitches.
Left field, yeah.
I wonder what they would do with
him. They don't want to be hurt.
What do you think they would do with him in the playoff series, like the World Series, where
he'll pitch?
But he's not pitching.
Well,
there's going to be two.
He's
not going to pitch
two
back
games away. He can pitch 2 games away.
Yeah, but he can't pitch back to back, and they're going to be back. They're going to be away.
But let's say.
So no, I'm saying. So let's say he pitches, then the next day they play, or a day later he's not pitching. What do they do?
Well, you got to have his bat in the lineup.
What do you do
so he's got to play left field. Right field.
First base.
Left field. Right. He's got a strong enough arm for right field. I mean,
he's
he
a
knows
pitcher.
How to play it.
I mean, he's got one of the strongest arms on the team.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, is his arm strong enough? I'm like, wait.
Yeah.
That was a dumb question. So he can play right field, no problem.
What is what's his fastball? Like mid-90s?
Yeah, it's not like 100.
It's like 95 or something.
Yeah. So I'm like, he can play right field. So, but here's the thing: home field then would be a bigger deal because home field is 2 home, 3 away, 2 home.
Right.
Then you can play them game 1, game 2, and then game 5.
Which, by the way, this is where grading benefits me. Prior to the season, I had 2 autographs. I had a Heritage Real One autograph of both Vlad Guerrero and Ohtani. We sent them both to grade. I actually sent the Guerrero on a quicker turn. And the Ohtani on a little bit slower.
Yeah, because Guerrero is so much better than.
Well, I think we had literally sent it right after he had started. The hype for Guerrero started in spring training. So literally, we get that card back. I sold that card at the Dells, the Guerrero.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I sold it for market, but I'm sure it's gone up.
Yeah.
But that Ohtani's still out there. So, I'm like, wow.
And then Ohtani's gone way up since the Dells.
The Ohtani's worth more, actually.
Yeah.
Partly because he's having a better year, and he's, I think, the Asian
Japanese
markets.
buyers. Yeah, there's all sorts of reasons why he's.
Yeah. So
he's Babe Ruth.
We actually looked it up. I'm like, his rookie.
Do you know when you might get that back? Are you gonna get that back in time?
I could have it. Not probably for the National, but I'll have it back in the next month.
Oh, you will. Okay, so you'll have it
maybe
relatively
just slightly
soon.
after.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you don't need it for the National.
Which I'm like, wow, what's that? We looked up a PSA 10's like 7,000. When we sent them, PSA 10s were like 600.
Yeah, dude.
So that's why I didn't send it.
12 times multiplier from April.
It's like, wow. So yeah, I mean,
I'm out of Ohtani. I have a Bowman rookie at the house because I sent it a paper.
Okay.
I sent it as a giveaway for a $10 Angels shirt.
Oh,
they returned the shirt with the card.
And now the card's worth
$40.
Yeah, I was gonna say 40. I was gonna say I couldn't believe awesome. We just got back some Topps Chrome
it was like
PSA
$2.
10s,
so.
And prior to the season, you could buy his PSA 10 Chrome. Like, we didn't talk much about him, did we, when we did the baseball?
No, we really didn't.
His rookies were about $50 10s, the Chromes. Now they're like $350. So that was like a 7X.
Well, no, I mean, when I sent that card, he was injured. It was a couple bucks. When he started the season, I bet it was like a $4 card, $5 card. So it's gone up 8X.
So even with the market moving down as a whole, there's still these players that are.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's always been the case.
Which is no different than the stock market. If the whole market's going down, there's still some stocks that are, going
and
up.
then, so I got that, and then I had a rookie card that I can't find.
I thought you had didn't you back in the day have a mega box first of his?
Oh, yeah, I had a green. I sold that in 2018.
$2.99.
$350. Yeah.
Wow, what's that?
Yeah, I
worth?
sold it for $350. Oh no,
I remember that card now.
Are you gonna make? I'm gonna look this up and punish myself.
It's
Well, no, I mean I've had $350 for
it's
3 years.
It's probably 3 times that, I think.
You think it's $1,000?
I think it's $1,000. Yeah. Well, dude, his base Bowman Chrome rookie is 200 raw. So yeah, it's definitely.
I'm looking it up.
I don't think I have a single.
Yeah, without a 99. Wow, you remember? You just know that.
No, I just remembered it when you pulled it because I remember you getting those mega boxes.
I found
one. You found one.
I found one stash of.
I remember the hype around that card.
Oh, that was in 2018. The
Everyone's
only
like
thing
Ohtani
people were
guy.
hunting for.
Yeah, it was Ohtani.
And I was one of them.
The last 30 days, Ohtani sales 942,000.
No.
Wow.
That one.
Wow.
There's one listed for 700. So maybe
so it's the insert one.
Yeah,
it's the rookie
not
of the year.
the
it's not the
main
base
one.
Yep.
It's the rookie of the year one.
So it's probably doubled.
Yeah, so I'll take my 350 for 3 years.
But look at the PSA 10 of the green regular.
Now I might have had a 10.
Yeah.
You know, I mean that's possible. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was that rookie of the year one because the batting one doesn't make any sense and it wasn't the pitching one. Oh, by the way, I told you this before we started taping. I bought a collection. And not really even a collection. It was just like a lot of extra bulk. By the way, all the Pokemon guys who collect sports cards, they refer to anything that's not an RPA as bulk.
Wow.
Which is like, okay.
Anything.
And so I bought a bunch of bulk. And there was unsleeved a 2018 Topps Archives Ohtani. I go, oh, that's cool. I got a Ohtani rookie. Right? So I go to look it up to price it.
Yeah.
It's the photo variation short print.
Oh my!
So then I put up for auction and got 140 for it last week.
Raw.
So it's up to they were going for like I didn't even tell you this part.
Nice.
On TikTok.
Yeah.
When I first got it, I put a video up, a steel video, right?
Yeah.
I put up a gold foil Dylan Carlson rookie.
Yeah.
And that Ohtani photo variation.
And you didn't know it was
and I did.
Oh,
I did at that point. It was $40.
Oh my!
And I said, super steal, pick either one, $25 a piece. Nobody took it. It was a steal. It was a $25 card that was worth $40, right? So nobody took me up on it because I still got a relatively new account, right? And like a week and a half later, I go look it up again. There was a sale at $150 and a sale at $250. I was like, I'm auctioning this.
Wow.
Like I got steals on TikTok, man.
Cool.
Like,
well, and right now we're in about a week and a half. We'll be in the lull where once the finals are over, there's nothing but baseball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I think could actually lead. Now fofootball hype will start.
Football
real
hype
quick.
starts
We're
immediately,
probably 2.5 weeks from training camp.
Well,
right?
I
like first week of August.
I mean, don't we start hearing a lot of football at the National? Like people are really starting to talk it. So I really think on the card side, football starts really the week of the National.
So let's do the podcast. We come back. Let's do a football. Who's your Ohtani? Who's the sleeper?
By the way, I do believe that I talked about Vlad.
Yep.
And who else did I talk about? I talked about Gavin Lux. Why is Gavin Lux not hitting? I just
well, let me say this. We were talking about this today. Do you realize how few teams have gone to back-to-back Super Bowls? And how even fewer have won back-to-back Super Bowls. So the question is this: are either of last year? This will be the little teaser for that episode. What do you think either of these teams from this Super Bowl make it? And if so, which of the two do you think has a better?
From last year.
Yeah. So Chiefs, Bucks. Who do you think has?
Chiefs, Bucks.
Who do you think has a higher likelihood?
That could. Well, I mean,
let's
be honest. It could be a repeat.
So I would say a repeat's pretty unlikely.
It's very unlikely.
It's
but
unlikely.
I'm just saying,
Let me say this. It's also pretty likely that neither of them make it.
That is true. That's true because it's so hard to get
because it's so hard.
Yeah.
And
but I'm saying of like the last 10, 20 years, this could be a repeat year.
Think about the curse of the – I was talking with Jeff. What's up, Jeff? He listens to the podcast.
Hey, Jeff.
He was in today. We were talking about this, the curse of losing the Super Bowl. The quarterback.
Is there a curse of that?
Think about what happened. Think about the Atlanta Falcons. What's happened to them?
It might be a special case.
No. Think about this one. Think about the Seahawks. They lose the Super Bowl to Brady. The entire Legion of Boom. No, but so they won one. Then they lost the next one.
Yeah.
The entire Legion of Boom is out of the NFL right now. The literal entire defense they lost. They didn't even make the playoffs.
Was it Sherman on?
No, he's gone. He's done. Like I don't even
Sherman's
think
retired?
I don't even think he was on a roster at the end of the year, was he? If he was, he wasn't playing regularly.
Well,
Like
here's the thing, like
Chancellor, I mean,
Chargers in '95, they weren't a very good team. The Falcons in '98, they weren't a very good team.
Yeah, but think
that
about
was the Vikings.
Yeah, but think
screwing
about
up.
even like Cam Newton. Cam Newton was in a Super Bowl just like 5 years ago.
Yeah,
And
that wasn't a
literally
very good team.
The wheels
though.
of,
that was
nah,
the team
no,
that
it
got
was
got
a Super
there.
Bowl team.
No, what I'm saying is,
yeah.
it's the team that got there, but like. There's 3 other teams that could have got there. The Chiefs belong there. The Bucks, the Bucks kind of got there.
Did the 49ers belong there 2 years ago?
In 2 years ago, no.
Well, they had the best defense in the league.
Garoppolo
Garoppolo
coming in and having a Tim Tebow moment. Like, no, I mean, it wasn't that great of a team.
But think about it. What happened to him the next year?
Bunch of people retired.
Tore his ACL, right?
No, but a bunch of people retired from that team too.
I'm just saying, look at some of the teams who lost the Super Bowl and then literally not even made the playoffs the next year.
But dude,
it happens all the time.
Niners, didn't they lose 2 offensive linemen to retirement?
They lost a linebacker too.
And they lost Patrick Willis. And they lost
Patrick Willis like 7 years ago, John. Come on. Patrick Willis was done before Jimmy Garoppolo came out of the womb, buddy.
God, that was a long time
Patrick
ago.
Willis
Oh
was
my
a good
God,
player,
I
too.
thought that was like 2 years ago.
The fact that you can remember how good Patrick Willis was.
Patrick Willis is a monster.
Yeah, was a
wow,
beast.
that
One
was
of the best
a long time
tacklers
ago.
ever. I think his last year would have been like 2015.
And then Navarro Bowman was right after him.
Yep. And
So that was before the Super Bowl. Oh my God, I kept thinking they were both on that Super Bowl.
No, that was the Colin Kaepernick Super Bowl team. Those guys were on the. Yeah, John,
Wow, that was a lot.
You lost a couple years. You've been building a business.
No, but here's the thing: the older you get,
it all blends together.
The longer it is before you think it was a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
College was 20. Like I was talking to Damien. What up, Damien? He might be by. I was talking to him yesterday. He was at the shop, and I said something about Annie, my wife, and I go blah blah. Yeah, she's known me for like 18 years, and I'm like 24 years. And then I was like, oh, we've been dating. You know, I said, yeah, we've only been married since 2007, but I've known her for like 15 years. And I go, or we've been dating for 15 years. I go, 20 years? And I'm like, oh, crap, we just went past 20 years since our first date.
Wow.
Right. And I'm going, wait.
You're like, how
did I lose 5 years?
It's like my mom told me the other day on vacation, like,
what up, Mom?
Hey, what's up, Mom? Like, all of a sudden, when you get to their age, all of a sudden you're like you try to do something you used to be able to do forever, and you're like, wow, I think I'm getting old.
Yeah,
it like sets in. You're like, wow, I'm actually like, you know, I've like crossed out of like the I can do everything I think I used to be able to do.
Right.
Like yesterday, we hit the basketball court finally forever, and I'm like, wow, I'm used to like not being sore.
Is
like,
that more though that you haven't been playing though? You were
some
playing
of
last
some
year.
some of that is yeah. If I was in the middle of the routine, but still at 36, it's a lot different than 22. You know.
Well, I have a little different experience because I'm much fatter than you are, and so I've been breaking down a lot earlier. Like right around 19, I started breaking down.
19 the injury started.
Once I got to, so I went into college at 215. I left college at 260. I gained 45 pounds.
They call it the freshman. What do they call it? The freshman
15. I gained another 30 after that.
You did the sophomore,
and then I just kept growing after that. You know.
I gained 25 a year, but that was intentional.
Oh yeah, you were. Well, no, I mean you would have gained 25 pounds from an 18-year-old frame to a 22-year-old frame.
I was
sure. Although you were kind of a balloon. You showed me your driver's license poster.
Yeah,
did you ever see you?
But
Evan, look at. Do you still have your old photo?
Yeah, I'll show him the photo.
Show Evan. Like you got the fattest face, dude. Like, and you don't have a. No, I'm not saying that as in haha, you had a fat face. You don't have a fat.
But
face.
I was also in the best shape of my life.
Which is weird, but you don't have. How did you change your face? That's what I don't understand.
I don't know. Faces.
Did you have surgery?
Yeah, I
little bit of surgery.
I got stung by a bee.
Little touch up. No, but it's very weird. You don't look
since.
anything like your photo.
Yeah, I got transformed too spiritually.
So like, how much are you down from that playing weight?
I think my peak I was 320. I'm like 260, but I want to get down to like 240. I want to get down to like 240. 240 is where I graduated high school.
Okay.
Yeah, so in 240.
No, I was actually relatively thin when I graduated high school. 215.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm almost maybe $150 higher than that now. That's
nice.
Not good. So I was talking to Zach, who's Damien's friend. What up, Zach? And I was just like, I'm gonna die pretty soon, so I'm gonna have to lose this weight. So you gotta get on the horse there.
So switching topics, do we want to jump into?
You want to switch topics for my death? Okay.
Yeah, you're not dying.
If you want to be,
let's not make this the more.
Make it about you, Clint.
No,
every time.
You're not dying.
So this is what I want to talk to you
a story,
about.
yeah.
All right, so it wasn't not even a story. So I get an email from our distributor today, and it's like there's 2 packages. They're not doing like the normal panini party, I guess. Where this is where
normally Panini would put out a party like that. Put out a package. You wouldn't buy it through the distributor.
Oh, is this what that is? This is a replacement.
They're replacing it on their own. Yep.
So you get this thing, and they're like, so the way the Panini party always worked was they made these gold and silver packs.
Yep.
That you got if you bought like $30,000, $20,000 worth of product.
I think it was like 18 or something.
And it was always like, product wasn't great.
Your profit was in the packs.
Yeah,
and you were getting them a little under retail.
Money. You made a little money on it,
but then you really made the money on it.
But it was also products that you wouldn't have ordered.
Nope, it's the way. Well, they use it to get rid of their backlog.
Right, they're trying to get rid of their stuff,
and they use those packs.
And they use the packs as the way to do it. And so I was actually in 2019 talking to Mike about splitting it with you guys.
What's up,
and
Mike?
We decided not to because they said it's an undetermined number of gold packs. I'm like, what does that mean? I don't got money for undetermined. But I did talk to another dealer who went to the party. Like, they more than gave us
like a whole
pack.
Box. Like a whole
I was like,
shoe
okay, maybe we should have done it. So anyway, so I get an email. The distributor comes up with a couple different things. One has 60 breaker packs, which we have no idea what they are. Right? And the other one was 500 Father's Day packs. One is, I won't say the exact number. One's about 20,000, one's about 30,000.
Yep.
So I call you up and I go, I just wanted to kind of get your opinion on this. And I sent an email and said, is this going to help with my allocation?
Right.
If I buy it, right? And so I called you. You said, well, wait to get an answer. I get an email back saying, yeah, it'll help with allocation. So we talk a little about like, hey, you wanted some of the stuff. And so that helped me out because then I don't have to shell out as much money. Yep. And so I call my rep there, and I'm talking to. I had a couple questions about Clearly Donruss was one of the products, and I was like, "Can I pick up the Clearly Donruss while I'm there because it comes out on 21st? I'm gonna be in Des Moines on the 23rd.
Yeah,
like I don't want that to get crossed up. I just wanted to ask a couple clearing questions, and then all of a sudden, I don't know what came over me. I went, is this guy allocated?
Is what?
I go, is this package allocated?
What do you mean?
Like, I'm like, can I buy this package, or is it maybe I can get this package? He goes, oh yeah, it's allocated. I go, so I'm not gonna get it. And then we have the same rep. You know how he is. He's like,
I don't deal with him on the phone very often.
No, but he's like, he'll never give you a straight answer because he doesn't want to upset you. Which, by the way, really upsets me.
Yeah, really.
Just talk to me.
Like, I'd much rather just tear the Band-Aid off.
It took me 10 minutes to get him to say something. And finally he goes, yeah, you're probably not going to get one. I'm like, well, then what the hell's the point of doing all this? Because I got to move some money around.
Yeah.
I got to pull some stuff off the line of credits and make sure I have enough in there and do my operations. And I'm like, so what are we doing? I'm like, well, then forget it then. Like, what the heck? And then, so I'm like, so I'm not.
So how many do you think they're offering? How many of those are available?
Well, so he let up a few little details here. For whatever reason, they don't want to tell you stuff.
We ended up going to our other distributor. We're going to get the other package, which is less. It's like 10,000.
Yeah.
And you get.
Yeah. What was that?
We get 250 Father's Day packs, which are worth $10 a pack.
For a third of the price.
For a third of the price. But the products.
And the product better?
The products are almost all the same, actually. UFC Prism Retail's on there. A couple soccer on there.
There's
actually,
no. There was no soccer on the other one.
No, Clearly's on there. And then you know what else is on there is there's like football blasters.
Oh, okay.
And a couple, Clearly, and then I want to say, I think actually, literally, it was only the soccer and one product were different.
No, that makes sense because the same product is going to be plentiful, and you're trying to move that.
Yep.
So anyways, that's all right. So that's cool. And for me, I told you this is an allocation play. This isn't I don't want to shell out 20 grand.
Right.
I mean, I'll make some money on it. We would have made
Yep.
a little money on it, and that's fine.
Yep.
But it's an allocation play for me. Now I got $20,000 worth of purchases. Hopefully I can get
Yep.
one box instead of 0.
Right.
You know, and then
But he said it's not happening.
no, I finally got it out of him. And he's just like, nah, you're probably not gonna get it. And I'm like, well then, like,
Well, I
what
wonder
are
if
we
I
doing
could get
here?
it and you could.
Why
but
am
then
I
it's not gonna help
calling you
That's not
and
gonna
trying to
help
make
you.
arrangements
Yeah.
when I'm not gonna get it? And so then, for whatever reason, came over me. I go, hey, I never got anything about the party. I never got a confirmation or anything.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to get a confirmation?
Yeah.
Did you get a confirmation about that party?
I'm not sure. I think
Okay.
I thought so.
So
I mean,
I'm
I
like,
haven't-
and then he's like, oh, I don't know. And then apparently I'm not on the list, or I might not be on the list.
What?
I'm like, what the hell?
What's going on?
I don't know, man. I'm very not.
The wheels are coming off.
I'm
down
just.
there, huh?
I'm just.
I'll
I
say
was
this
very
much: that
frustrated this
company, I
afternoon.
won't name them, has lost our respect.
Well, we already named them,
significantly.
Clint.
Oh, did we? We already did.
Yeah, we already
Oh,
named them
okay,
like
so-
4 times.
Yeah, I mean GTS, I feel like is much better than Southern at this point. Like they're giving us probably 4-1 allocation, and they're
Yeah,
just.
I'm
you know,
gonna sign up for GTS. Actually, Southern's the only distributor I work with.
Yeah, you're gonna want to
And
go with GTS.
My early concerns were because my cash flow was limited. Like,
The only problem
what
is
if
Ben, our rep, is a Bears fan, so we have to hear about the Bears. all
He's
the
what?
time. He's a Bears fan, which is awful.
he's a what?
Bears fan.
Bears fan?
It's awful. Anyway.
I don't know. The Bears
like
don't bother me.
No,
Like, if you
Bears
were the
are-
Packer fan, I'd set GTS on
Yeah,
fire.
yeah.
But,
literally
like,
would burn their.
just burn the whole place to the ground. You know?
Like,
Like,
you guys like the Packers?
but it's like Bears. I don't know, for whatever reason, like, there's so much hate in between us and Chicago. It's like, I kind of ran out of hate.
Yeah.
But he's a little excessive. Well, see, you know what's funny? The story about GTS was I had sent application for both of them. This is kind of a little business story. I sent the application for both of them before I got the keys to the place, and GTS lost my paperwork. I faxed it, and they're like, "We don't have it."
Mm.
And then it's hilarious. I don't know if that's the right word, but like it was like, okay, I'm gonna resend it, and now it's a year and a half later. I haven't sent it. It's like I've
Yeah.
been so busy. It's and like I know they can't get me very much anyway, so
Yeah.
it wasn't like, oh man, I could get a case from GTS. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna get a case from GTS,
Right.
but it's just like it's just funny how that like a year and a half went by, and I'm like, how come I haven't set that up yet? You know, like it's a lot of work. I mean, so let's go into that, right? I'm doing my first national where I have a booth.
Yeah.
It was so much easier just tagging along with you and working your booth. I just showed up and we went. Like, and then I help you maybe load some
Well, I'll
stuff
say
up
this
after
much:
that.
are you planning on doing the tour like we did last time, where you actually go to Southern?
I don't think they're having it. I don't think they're having
They're
an
not
open
going to do that.
house.
They're not going to do an open house.
I haven't heard of anything.
That's a sure surprise.
I had mentioned that too. I was like, "Oh, is there gonna be an open house?" And because
that was fun.
Didn't say anything.
That was good.
Yeah, but here's the thing: they have nothing to sell. Remember, the whole
yeah.
point of that open house was
Is
for
to
them to move
get-
product.
Yeah.
This is
'Cause
all
we
the
spent-
stuff
yeah.
we're sitting on.
Yeah.
Well, what are they sitting on?
Yeah. No. Right. I don't think much.
Right? I mean, after they sell the packages.
Well, they're
too.
sitting on some because they do come out with like restock prices, which means they have some.
Do you?
leftovers.
What do you think that stuff is? Do
What?
you think that stuff they're purposely holding back to sell
For
at
sure.
a higher price, or the
100%.
stuff they're buying on the secondary market?
I think both. I think they're buying on DealerNet and then reflipping because they're able to get enough to still.
Because here's the
have
thing: a lot
stuff.
of their restocks is higher than blowout price.
Yeah, it's because that you know why? Because they probably bought some from not blowout, but maybe they do some bulk. They might.
David Adams.
They
Whatever.
work with all those guys. I mean,
Right, and so what happens is they're using that to leverage
Yeah,
you buying it so that you can get allocation.
100%.
And so we have been told
'Cause
like there's
they-
people who spend over $1 million
restocks.
on
On
restocks just to get the allocation.
Right.
You know, and so I was like, I don't got that bankroll. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
And
that's
it's-
where money makes you money.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
that's
Like,
where-
I mean, if you're a big breaker, let's say you spend, even if, let's say, I mean, you wouldn't do this, but let's say you spend $1 million on a restock and you just sold it all at cost
Yep.
in your breaks, you're going to more than make up for it when you get 10 cases of National Treasure or 5 cases of National.
Right.
I mean, you're at cost,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so
Mike and I though looked at the GTS deal.
Yeah.
The the same version of the Southern.
Yeah.
And on a $10,500 deal, I think we're gonna be able to make $5,000.
Yeah. See,
Because
that's way better.
because the packs are $2,500,
Yeah.
and then the profit on the actual product is another like
So
25%.
Now, that being said, the Clearly Donruss was reasonable priced. I
Yep.
mean, I think making 30%, which is normal markup in
That's
a normal
standard.
year.
Yep.
You remember what the UFC was? That any good?
Yeah,
or-
there might
The
be.
UFC had room, so
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think the prices were bad.
No.
Which means the guys with the bigger bankroll are going to buy more than one package. Because I mentioned that, I said, so like, are these big guys? Can they buy more than one? And he's like, he said he thought so. Well,
Yeah, how fair is that?
so I can't get allocation.
By the
because
way, speaking of, so we talked about the UFC. I want to talk for a second. Did you watch the fight on Saturday?
I watched the clip where
I watched it.
where
we
he took a
bought it.
step back and then I turned it off because it was
So
frightening
we
me.
bought the fight. Some guys, my buddy,
did ya?
my buddy who, I didn't even know about this, but there's a cigar shop. And a bunch of guys go to that. A bunch of guys that are trying to be sober. They've been living sober.
Oh, yeah,
so,
yeah.
So rather than going to the bar,
tobacco's
they,
better
they-
than alcohol.
So for them it is. They go
Oh, no,
smoke
it
a
is.
cigar, which is
Yeah.
way fun, you know. And we bought the fight, and the first fight, this guy named
I was
O'Malley.
watching some of those
Did
fights.
you see the guy? So there was a guy who took a fight on 10-day notice because the other guy had to back out.
Okay.
The guy took 200 shots to the face.
Wow.
I literally thought to myself, this guy, how he's standing and how he's not going to be dead tomorrow. I felt bad. They called the fight at the very end of the third round, and I was like, that is the toughest mother effer
Yeah.
I've ever seen in a UFC
Oh,
fight.
every once
the
in a
guy
while.
literally, he kept coming at the guy, not even defending himself. I'm talking, I saw the guy get punched in the face
Yeah.
80 times. And this is not boxing. These are not 16-ounce gloves. These are like 8-ounce. I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, my mind was, I was like, this guy, they literally said this. The announcer said, if this guy takes another significant shot, it could alter the course of his life. And I was like, yes.
Alter the course of reality.
Like, literally, this guy. But anyway, the funny part was,
And it was the guy who took it on 10-day notice that was getting rocked.
he was getting rocked,
Yeah.
and but they picked the right guy. This guy was tough. That's all
Oh,
they got was
jeez.
like, give us your toughest guy.
I thought-
who literally will go the distance.
I saw a clip
It was
today,
nuts.
and I don't know what fight this was from. It must have been from an old fight,
Yeah,
where the whole clip was fighters having respect for each other.
yeah.
But it was one where he knocked him down with a UFC fight. The guy stands up,
Yeah.
falls all by himself.
Wow.
And the ref didn't call it. And then he stands up a second time and he's pointing at him like, I'm not hitting this guy.
Oh, my.
And then immediately falls down without anybody. He's just, and then finally
Wow.
they call it. I'm like, what is wrong with this ref?
Yeah.
One, two, yeah, he didn't blow the whistle yet. He
Yeah.
could have just destroyed him.
I mean, it's always really scary in UFC when someone gets knocked out cold,
yeah.
and they don't stop. And I've seen guys get knocked out, and then the
then
guys
bam,
on
bam,
top
bam.
of them hitting them like.
And which,
2 or
by
3
the way, is
Yeah.
exactly what they're trying to do. Because
Right. Yeah.
it's kind of like playing to the end of the whistle in football. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't do that, you're going to get hurt.
Not only that, like there's times where guys get knocked down and it doesn't do the damage you think, and the fight's
Yeah.
not over. You know what I mean? So
Right.
like you can't like.
But you
lean
can't do it
towards-
like
Yeah.
that. And then the
Yeah.
ref has
And it's
reaction
not. You're
time.
not trying to hurt the guy.
No.
But you're like.
Well, you are.
Well, I mean, but you're not trying to like.
You're
It's
trying
not
to
a
win the
cheap.
fight.
It's not a cheap shot. It's,
Yeah, you're not
it's an
trying
actual
to,
like.
You're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, hurt, harm.
I mean, you're trying
Yeah,
to.
yeah. You can use it means two different things.
Yeah. You're trying to
trying
win
to hurt
the
him,
tech-
but
yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
trying to injure him for life.
Yeah, you're not trying to like leave a.
Well, I know what's funny was I watched one fight with my daughter,
Yeah.
and I was talking to her about how they agreed to the fight.
Yep.
Both of the guys could stop the fight at any time they wanted. That some of that the fighters are willing to hurt the other person,
Yep.
but then will give them time before and not really hurt them.
Yep.
So like this would be like I talked to her about arm bars, and I was like,
Yep.
well, he could break his elbow.
Yep.
But then the guy who's getting hurt knows enough to give up.
Yep.
And the guy who's gonna do it knows enough not to break his arm immediately, but let him
Yep.
give
Give him
up.
a chance to give up.
You know, and so
Yeah,
because
there's
I'm trying to
actually
explain, like, two guys
mercy.
fighting
There's
to an
mercy. Well, there's mercy involved in the sense of like rather than just inflicting. Like if you were in a military context,
Yeah.
the guy's neck's broke. It's just
Yeah,
over. It's like
yeah.
you're dead. Like you don't. You know what I mean? Whereas this is like I'm going to give you a chance. You're acknowledging I
Because
could break it, but I'm not going to. Yeah.
Once you're in that armbar where it's set, you're not getting out.
No.
No, and then before it's set, you can still get out, right?
Yep.
So then that's
well,
different.
and actually the technique of not letting your arm get in that spot is what they're always jockeying, which was interesting because Poirier had McGregor on the mat, which is not where McGregor's good, and he was destroying him.
Oh yeah, I did
the
watch
leg. I don't know. He would have got out of the round, but I think he would have been done in the second round. Which, on the sports betting side, let me say this: I think UFC poses the greatest sports betting opportunities, and here's why. So, people that are not familiar with fighting, which I was one not too long ago, I was not familiar with fighting. We were in Vegas during the last McGregor fight. And Conor McGregor has this name recognition, right, for UFC.
He sells the fight.
And so what happens is people think, Conor McGregor's fighting. I'm going to bet him.
No.
Well, guess what? Vegas is like, okay.
Done.
But the reality is Poirier was a huge favorite.
Yeah, he was.
Like, he was a huge favorite the last two fights. The last fight where Poirier knocked him out in the first round, McGregor was the favorite in the betting. Yeah. Because people just
not when it first came out.
But if you ask someone who actually knew UFC, I don't think they would have thought McGregor was the favorite. But the public perception. Yeah. Now, this is a big thing for sports betting. Public perception has more to do with the setting of lines than the actual technical team.
New York Yankees, Los Angeles Dodgers.
Hey, great example. This last year for NCAA basketball, Gonzaga was a huge favorite against Baylor. Yeah. If you watch those two teams throughout the playoffs, Baylor was way bigger, way stronger. You knew they were going to pose this huge challenge for Gonzaga, but it was like, hey, this is the darling of the – everyone wanted Gonzaga to win. So guess what happened?
There was emotional betting.
And Vegas never even – they knew that. They wanted all the money on Gonzaga. Right. They thought Baylor was better, so they never moved the line.
Oh, really?
And they just swept house. Like Vegas does that all the time.
But that also is a risk to Vegas when it doesn't go the way they think it's going to go. So that does happen, too.
But the reality is I think they're a lot smarter than you realize. Like line makers are
– literally all they do.
Very, very intelligent.
And they're not emotional about teams. They just, do what they have. But, no, I mean, that's true. Like, the Yankees are going to get a lot of action.
Yep.
Whether they're the favorite or not.
100%.
There's just a big population, and they're going to bet for their home team.
And
I'm not going to bet against the Twins in the World Series.
No, right.
I'm never going to bet against the Twins, even if – I might not bet.
Yeah. Or I could see myself hedging my interest and saying, like –
oh, come on, Clint.
Yeah, because I'm –
against the Twins in the World Series?
Yeah, because then if they lose, I'm not as disappointed.
Wow, Evan's judging you right now.
I don't know.
Hard. Yeah, I'm judging you too.
Okay, I mean – it's like insurance, right? Don't you buy insurance on your house? You don't want your house to burn down, but in case it does, then in case they lose.
Well, how about you just don't bet on the Twins, and then you don't have to bet against them. I mean, you can not bet on them, but bet against them? Come on, Pete Rose. What are we doing
I'm not
here?
betting against them. I'm hedging my personal interest.
That's not what I'm hearing. I'm hearing.
Let me ask you this: is insurance on your house you betting for a fire?
This is Boris Clint. This is my house.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I'm not rooting for my house.
You're not rooting for your car to light on fire and get in an accident and buy insurance.
Wow, betting. Clint is willing to bet against his home team.
I bet against Tom Brady this year because I love Tom Brady so much.
Yeah, but that's not the same as against the Vikings, against the Twins.
That's true. Well, here's the thing: I'll say this.
I love Tom Brady.
I actually might hedge because I take the Vikings and the Twins prior to the season to win it all.
Yeah.
So then, if they actually got there, I could guarantee myself profit.
Yeah,
which is
no.
You
couldn't
do it.
I'm
Huh?
not doing it.
Okay, all right.
Not that one.
But anyway, UFC. To bring all that up, that was a fun fight. It was unfortunate that what blew me away was the fact his leg was broken, and he's laying on the mat, and he's like not even like I don't know if he's just in shock or if he's that tough.
I saw that clip where he was yelling, saying that it was a doctor stoppage, and he didn't give up. And you didn't see that?
Yeah, I'm like you're
screaming. No, you didn't beat me.
But here's what you realize in moments like that. These guys are so much tougher than the average
get
person.
Hit in the face.
Yeah, but think about their pain tolerance is at the top 1%. Like this guy's a broken leg.
I bet you.
You're like,
nuts. I bet you if you took UFC fighters, and I don't know how you'd test it, and you test them for pain tolerance,
it's the highest.
Off the chart.
It's off the chart.
So I bet you
Whereas LeBron James, would have been writhing on the mat with like a broken fingernail.
Yeah,
And,
I'd be like,
Conor
LeBron
McGregor
James,
has a broken leg, and he's like giving an interview.
he's like, oh, I didn't do nothing. Yeah, you didn't beat me this time. You know?
Like, wow.
LeBron that's hilarious. LeBron would take like one punch in the face and be like,
Oh,
I give up. Tap. Where do I
Oh,
tap?
man,
Where
he's
do I
such a-
tap?
Which is like,
Whereas
I
LeBron James
respect
should
those
beat up
guys.
everybody on the.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
there should be. I bet you
Yeah.
there's fighters who are the best fighters that ever lived.
Yeah.
But they couldn't. They just were like, I don't want to get punched.
Yeah.
I just can't.
They
Like
can't-
I'm
they
one of
couldn't,
those
yeah.
guys. I don't want to get hit. I stopped fighting for that. exact
Well, it was
reason.
interesting. I don't know if you
Yeah.
watched Greg Hardy, the former defensive lineman for the Cowboys. He
monster.
fought, which, by the way, he was an example of public perception. A lot of people bet him. He's not nearly the fighter. The guy
He's
he got.
ripped is what
Yeah,
he is.
yeah, but he got knocked out quick. Do you see it? He got knocked out in like 40 seconds or something.
I watched
Because
one fight with
because
my
here's
daughter
what
and
happens
a
with a
half
big
an
guy
hour.
like that is he thinks because he's big.
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
He walked into one punch and was out cold.
You ever
Like,
see
it's
those
like-
ones where the bodybuilder goes up against a UFC guy half his size
it's
and
like-
just gets whipped?
It's like,
you
dude,
know,
no,
like-
your muscles
Yeah.
can't stop your brain from getting.
Well, I say that all the
rattled.
time. So I'm 6'2", 3 and some change.
3-ish.
But here's the thing, like I don't know how to fight.
Right.
I've been in plenty of fights,
Yep.
but I don't know how to fight.
Yeah.
So somebody half my size who doesn't know how to fight, I'll
Yeah.
beat them.
Yep.
Somebody half my size who knows how to fight will whip me
well, for
like
sure.
in a second. Like I don't know where to put my hands.
dude, a
I don't know.
jujitsu, like some jujitsu like expert would
Not even
literally.
that, just a
he
striker.
he would literally destroy Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Like he would like you
Well,
have
that's
no
what I'm
idea.
saying.
Like,
but
yeah.
even if it's
Yeah.
somebody who is just a striker, like they
Mhm.
knew how to punch properly. I don't
Sure.
know how to punch properly.
Right.
I can punch, but I'm only good against other people who don't know how to fight. And
Right.
what I mean by not knowing how to fight is like literally, like I've never had any training at all.
You're the best.
And that's most people. Most
Yeah,
people
most people.
don't know.
Yeah.
So what happens
Which,
is,
by
and
the
then
way,
here's the other
fighting
thing,
is one of the best.
and you should
workouts.
know this too,
Oh yeah.
because you're so big,
I fought.
nobody
him.
ever wants to fight you.
It can be true.
I mean,
Or they want to fight you because they won't.
I never ran into a lot of that.
Yeah, I have stories.
Everybody
for
was
you.
just kind of like,
My buddies threw me into a fight in college where we actually boxed in a garage and we sold
that's
tickets.
smart.
And,
Tickets?
and we had kegs, and it was.
Was this UMD or Northwestern?
This is UMD,
UMD,
and
yeah.
I knocked the guy down. He was bigger than me, and they showed me a video before the fight of this guy just destroying a guy, and they're like, "This is who you're fighting." I'm
Like in a garage fight?
but we had boxing, we had gloves on. We had gloves on.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it wasn't bare fist, like it was actual fight, and I remember I got a black eye out of the deal. I think I probably won. He never knocked me down, but it was. I mean, he probably technically would have won like the second.
Like
third
on
round.
points.
But I get there. I get
I
home.
love it.
I get
in
home.
college, I was in a garage fight, but he won on points. But I think, like, what are we talking about here?
I get home for Christmas break, and my mom's like, "Oh, we're taking a family picture," and I got a black eye.
What'd
She's
you
like,
do?
"What happened?" Anyway, boxing is a workout. man.
No. When you
UFC.
did you tell your mom you were in a garage fight?
Oh yeah.
You did?
Oh, for sure.
You were willing to tell your mom you were in a garage fight in college?
She wasn't surprised. I mean,
well, wait. You don't have any sisters.
I can't tell you how many times I've been punched in the face or punched.
No, but
in
you
the
don't have
face.
any sisters, right?
Yeah, no, I have no sisters.
You have two brothers.
Three
Brothers.
Yeah.
So there's 4 boys. Yeah.
boys,
She wasn't
yeah.
surprised.
No. She's like, I saw this every day growing up. I'm not
If that
shocked.
makes sense. 4 boys. She's gonna be like, okay, whatever. Whereas my mom's like, there's a call back to last podcast. My mom was like, never eat that much cereal again.
Nice.
You're gonna kill yourself. There's people die from having water drinking contests. I'm like, okay, all right, done.
Nice.
But yeah, so
You wanna talk-
prepping for the national, man, dude. It's
It's some
my
work.
store is a mess. And then of course I got all that old wax that came in last minute, and now
That'll be
that
fun.
completely changed my plan.
Right, which is a good thing.
I mean,
it's gonna
it is,
give you more
but
opportunity.
yeah,
The more inventory,
I'll
the
ma-
better.
Well, I'll make more. Well, but now we got the thing where I can't bring as much of the other stuff I wanted. But this is a better play.
Or, and I'm going to throw this out there. I know we're just having our conversation here. So,
Yeah.
or the other option is you actually come back for a day from Des Moines, and if you sell enough there, you can reload. You know, that's just a thought. I'm
I
just
don't
throwing it
know.
out there.
10 hours of driving, or 5 extra hours
It's
of
5
driving.
extra, but that's what you would have driven anyway. In other words,
I did think I was coming back home.
Yeah,
when we first
yeah.
did this. You
So,
know,
I mean-
but here's what I'm gonna do.
depending on how Des Moines goes,
No,
if
here's
you
what-
unload half your car at Des Moines,
Yeah, but then I can take.
yeah,
a lot
you
of your
can
stuff
yeah,
with
yeah,
me.
Yeah, you can take my case.
So here's what I'm gonna do though. Here's the plan. Is Sunday Des Moines.
Yep.
I'm going to drive to Cedar Rapids and find a hotel.
Okay.
spend the night in the hotel.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go to the Colonel Team store and buy myself a hat, which is
Wow.
very important.
Nice.
Then I'm going to drive to Clinton and buy a hat for the Lumber Kings. So I'm gonna be able to go to both
Nice.
pro shops. So what's great, so I hate driving. So
Yeah.
this is driving back home is a big ask, right? So what's cool about it is I only have to drive for about an hour and a half to Cedar Rapids from Des Moines.
Yeah.
Spend the night, right?
Yep.
Then it's only an hour and a half to Clinton, 90 minutes, and then I can hang out in the team store for 30 minutes, and then it's 2 hours to Chicago. Like, I've broken up my trip really nice. So that's another reason why I don't want to go back home.
I mean, I get the
I
logistics
don't know
side,
how
but
many
it-
thousands
but the
of
co-
dollars
but-
I have to miss out.
Well, the reality is, as you remember, Tuesday, the day of setup at the National.
Yeah.
So let's just talk the week of the National. So Monday we go down there. Tuesday's the
Yep.
first day we're allowed. We had to pay to set up early.
$75.
$75. That day is literally only dealers,
Mm-hmm.
and then
And that's a
so
very
you
important
You have
day.
an entire day of just setting up and dealing with dealers.
And by the way, my booth is going to take 2 hours to set up. I'm going to be buying all Tuesday.
yeah.
It's going to take me a couple hours to get ready. And
Yeah.
then I'm just going to go to all the other tables and buy.
So Tuesday's all day setup. Wednesday is all day
Regular
setup
setup. Yeah.
until they let the public in. I think the earliest for VIPs is like 2:30 or 3.
No, I think it's
And
later
then it's
than
like
that.
3
I
to
think
8.
it's like 4.
Is it like 4 to 8?
Yeah.
So literally you have a day and a half
And a
of the
half.
show.
Oh, yeah, and then Wednesday I
of-
don't have to set up at all.
And Wednesday's the late. Here's the thing though. Wednesday's the only day it's open late till 8.
Yeah.
And then we go back to the regular schedule.
That's a weird night because
Yeah.
you.
Well,
No, I don't have to get there right
now,
away.
Thursday night's trade night, right? That's to
Yeah,
anyone
I'm
listening.
definitely
If you're
going to
coming,
trade night.
Trade night is one of my favorite parts of the entire
Go
national.
to trade
Just
night.
the cards you get to see, the people you connect with.
No,
opportunity to buy trade.
And 2 years ago, you had to register to go, and I know they let you guys in. I'm wondering if we need to register.
That's a great question. I'm gonna check
Yeah.
out the website.
Go to Blowout Forums.
Yeah.
Because it's a couple of guys from Blowout who started Trade Night.
Okay.
Um,
Panini actually sponsored it too because they gave some.
Yeah, so it's a little more corporate now.
Yeah,
It
which is
started
cool,
out
I
as
mean.
just like whatever. And what's cool about that is, so if you haven't
eBay, I
been
think.
and you go to Trade Night and you want to, you don't have a booth, right?
Yep.
You literally can get a table
Mhm.
and then lay your cards out like a card show, and then people will like walk up to you and say, "Hey, how much is that?"
Right.
And what's kind of cool about that is, and that's the strategy I would take, because I didn't go to Trade Night until Dell. I didn't go to Trade Night 2 years ago because I
Yep.
was doing a YouTube thing, and then I regretted it because they door prizes.
Yeah.
But like the guys who literally put their cards out on the table,
Yep.
and wait for people to come around, I think that's probably the best strategy.
Mhm.
Then people like you.
Now to say this, trade night. Don't. If someone hears that, trade night doesn't mean you have to be willing to trade.
Nope.
There's people selling too.
They're absolutely.
So you can come in and trade dollar bills for cards.
Absolutely.
Like that's it's not
Bring
like
your cash.
it's not like selling is
But if you
But-
have cards,
yes.
and you want to sell cards,
Yep.
grab one of those tables.
Or if you're looking for
I think maybe
if
you have to register to get a table.
But believe it or
Maybe
not,
that's
if
what
you
it
have,
is.
here's the fun part about trading is I always have cards I don't necessarily need to sell, but
Yeah.
I would get rid of them for a card I liked more.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of trading in general. You know?
Mhm.
Like the very beginning of the hobby for me was in 6th grade. One of the teachers in our middle school hosted a weekly sports card trade day after school. Did I
That's
tell you about this?
awesome. No.
So in Isani, he would host it. He would oversee the deals before they got finalized, so no one was getting like ripped off, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Loosely, I mean, but you'd show up with your cards, and they'd block off this classroom for like 3 hours,
Yeah.
and people would trade. And part of it is you learned
Mm-hmm.
how to value things. You learned how to make those decisions, those interactions, those negotiations, which is all super
Yeah.
helpful in life in general, whether or not you do business or not.
Yeah,
you know?
one of the trade nights I had, I stopped doing them because with the pandemic, I just couldn't keep them going. But I had a customer with a father and son, and they went to one, and I said, "Hey, just if you got a trade, you're not sure, bring it to me. I'll let you
Yep.
know."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's always good to have that. I'm not
Both
telling you
parties
to
are
do it, but I'm
feeling-
saying,
yeah.
My point is to say, "Oh, you won." My point is going like that's a fair trade. That's
Yep.
not a ridiculous.
One side's
Right, like, all of a sudden it's like a PSA 10 Ken Griffey Jr. upper deck rookie, and then $12 insert of Guerrero. I'm like, no, like
it's not. Yeah.
that's not a thing.
And now there's times where someone's willingly giving up
Yeah.
more value because maybe they're into
But
a
if you
card
can
for less. or-
verbalize that, you can say,
Yeah.
hey, I know I'm giving them about double,
Yeah,
but I think this guy is going to go up 10 times. You don't want to block that trade.
for sure.
Or you don't want to, even if they're kids, you're like, hey,
Yeah.
if you know that going into and it busts, then now you've learned your lesson. Or if it gone up, you don't want to block. He's really confident that he's going to
Yeah.
go up.
Well, and trading is it can be a lower friction transaction
Yeah.
than cash. Because like if you think about eBay,
Money is money,
you have
yeah.
fees and stuff,
Yeah.
whereas this allows you to sometimes people are sometimes more willing to trade than they are to
Right.
sell or to buy.
And
Like
we
both
had
sides,
that
you know?
conversation with Jeremy
Yep.
a million podcasts ago.
Yeah.
One of the other things too is what I've noticed is because people are just coming in with like small bags or their what do you call those Pelican cases and stuff.
Yep.
They tend to be pretty high on stuff.
Yeah, a
goes
lot
to
of
that
high-
room. So if you're like, oh, check out the dollar boxes at trade night, that's not
Yep.
really
No,
a thing.
people don't bring their dollar boxes as much.
know,
Now
it-
there are some good raw cards that
Yeah.
you could grade.
but
Yeah.
even then, it's gonna be like
The pickup
a
of my
Cam
last trade.
Reddish, so you go Cam Reddish, that's not a big card, but it's gonna be like number to 99. I mean that's probably the lowest end thing you're gonna find for the most part.
Yeah.
So I will say that trade night's not for really, really low end trading.
Right.
But I'll tell you this: if you just want to look at cards, and you go, "Hey, can I look through your cards?" You will see some epic cards there.
Right.
Like I saw some John Morant's.
I think
Like
did I tell the story?
crazy.
Did I tell the story on this podcast where
Yeah.
Cardboard Chronicles? I walked up on the guy. He was
Oh,
meeting
no,
a guy
you didn't.
who. This guy had the #1 LeBron James collection I've ever seen. This
Okay.
guy had cards. He had a 1-row box. This is prior to the boom. So this is 2 summers ago.
Okay.
He had $1 million worth of cards in one
Prior to the
PSA
boom.
graded box.
Eh,
He had numerous
and that's not a very big
Pop
box.
one. So no, it's 25
You're
cards. $1
yeah, you're
million
talking about
and 25
the brown
cards. Yes,
box
the brown
that-
box.
yeah.
And it was a very unassuming box. Very unassuming guy. I couldn't believe I was seeing the cards I was seeing. He actually had I've never even seen this card. He had the SP Authentic Gold Rookie Auto to 50 LeBron James PSA 10. It's like a Pop one. Like that's kind of a card where you're like, does it go for 100
wow.
or 200 or
Okay.
300? Like I have no idea. I didn't even know that there was a gold version. Like I'm just used to the standard like to 500.
Oh, by the way,
It's like, what? There's a-
right before we started taping, I bought a collection from a customer. There was 2 Brady rookies in
And
there,
then you fleeced your buddy with it.
and I go, I processed it. I literally was down to my last 10 cards. By process, I mean pulling them from the pages and getting them in clean sauces.
Yep.
I cannot have a card in a dirty sauce. This was a
No.
dirty collection. Like
It'd been there since
it's been there since
90s.
1998, And I'm going through the collection, and I find my first precious metal gem card. Then I possess that.
You know how long it's been since I owned one of
No,
those?
here's the
now?
thing. I possessed the card for 25 minutes because somebody else owns it now.
It's been 4 years since I owned one of those. That's how
I've
rare
never
those
owned
cards
one. I owned one for 20 minutes.
are. Nice.
So Clint's like, how much for that? Like, so I sold you both Brady's and the PMG, and you're like, I like the PMG better than I like
I
the
do.
Brady's. I'm like, what?
That I'll say this much: if I put all those cards in a case, and a bunch of card guys walked by my case,
Card guy, yeah.
that's what I'm saying. That would be the card that got their attention. You can see. I mean, the Brady's are cool.
Right,
Don't
right.
get me wrong, but you see those everywhere.
But I'm going to
you
tell you
don't
something.
see
But
precious
I'm gonna
metal
tell you
gems
something.
ever.
If you do that and card collectors who aren't card guys,
Yeah.
they'll never even look at that PMG twice.
But that tells me which
Yeah.
guys I want to hang with.
Right,
Which
right.
guys? Here's the test. Do you understand the
Are
rarity
you gonna
of these 90s?
Are you gonna bring that card to like trade night?
That
and
would be a
then-
trade card,
And then be like, hey, what's up? And no, it was cool. The Sean King rookie, and Sean King was a big deal for about 2 years.
He wasn't a terrible.
He was a
quarterback.
winning quarterback for the Buccaneers.
Yep.
So it was actually that card was probably like a $600 card at one point.
And so here's the cool thing about a PMG. I actually saw a I had a chance to buy a PMG at the show this Saturday in Bloomington. It was a rookie Tony Gonzalez red,
oh, nice.
graded SGC 7.5. The guy wanted double market, which I was just
What do you want?
he wanted 2,000, and there was actually a comp on his actual
Yeah,
card.
I saw that one. Yeah,
His card for 1,000.
7. Yeah,
So-
I thought I saw one. Or maybe it wasn't a rookie though.
Yeah, it was the rookie PMG red. So you just don't see those. Now the thing about like a Tony Gonzalez is like that card has dual purposes. It could be collected by a Tony Gonzalez collector or a PMG guy.
A PMG or a team collector.
Or a team. So,
or a Hall of Fame
like who
collector.
knows who's going to want the Sean King and why? Probably someone doing the set, I would think. More so
Well,
than.
the thing about we saw a comp of who's the quarterback? Achilles Smith.
Yep.
The problem was Achilles Smith was never good at any point in his career, where Sean King did have a bit of a following for a little while. So the Sean King's better than Achilles Smith.
Achilles Smith was a quarterback, right?
Bengals,
yeah.
Drafted same year.
Same year, yeah.
But he just was never good. Where Sean King was a winning quarterback for a couple seasons.
Right.
They brought him to the playoffs.
And John didn't even realize this, but his is number 1 of 50.
Yeah.
Which you're like, oh, aren't they all that way? I'm like, no.
No, I didn't know because. By the way, but I love how you played dumb. No, John, it's not the way it works. That's not how cards work. There's plenty of cards that say 1 of 2,000, and they're not.
Yeah, not PMGs.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
I never had a PMG before, so how would I know?
Which, interesting enough, this PMG this year is not green or red.
It's
like
just
it's what would you call it? The
gold almost.
It's like a refractor looking,
yeah.
and then it's numbered on the back. So if
I
you're ever
thought,
wondering
I'm
what
like,
we're
this is
talking
a
about.
parallel, but I don't know what parallel this is. And then I flipped it over, and I was like, oh, okay, I know what parallel this is.
So this is Metal Universe from '99, and I want to say they in '97 and '98 they're colored for football still.
Yeah.
They're greens, there's
and then
reds.
Also, later they stopped coloring.
Later they
That's
stopped
weird.
coloring. Oh, and I'll say this: the regular metals and the Metal Universe also differs.
Oh,
The
funny.
basketball from 90. What year's Duncan's rookie? 98.
90.
So I actually had
7.
97. I had the 97 championship Metal Universe PMG Duncan rookie.
Okay.
That one looks like this. It's not
Okay.
colored, but it's still numbered.
Right.
Whereas the standard metal set is green and red.
Oh, funny.
So they varied based on the two sets.
Yeah,
too.
I remember you and Jeremy talking about that in the podcast we did, and I'm like, I have no experiences with PMG. So you guys were saying a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I remember at one point he goes, I just had one of them trash red ones or whatever. I'm like, I don't know what are you.
Jeremy
referring
has
to?
a Clyde Drexler right now. He had it at a show in
Oh,
Dallas.
nice.
He had a lot of people ask about it, but no one was willing to pull the trigger. So, but it's one of those cards that you're never in a hurry to sell because it's just like you don't
Right.
see them. Like literally, Mike and I in the last 2 years have probably looked at 20,000 metal cards.
Yeah.
Like so regularly, the other day a collection came in. One box is labeled like 97 metal
Yeah.
baseball, and I open it and I just go, Mike, when are we gonna get a PMG on one of
Right,
these?
right,
And
right.
literally, I looked through an 800 count box. And I've done that dozens of times and not seen one of them.
And by the way, you know why? Because they're all in this guy's collection.
Yeah.
It's just a collection that he
Yep.
didn't buy very much. He happened
Yep.
to pull one. He stuck it in on
Stuck it
9
in
pack.
his sleeve, yep.
I didn't even notice this card.
Well, because it doesn't catch your attention.
No,
This
because it was
color,
like
yeah.
slightly whatever, Sean King. I'm like, and
Hey,
then I'm like, oh wait.
Hey,
This is,
I got taken. I learned a lesson my first year of selling cards.
okay.
I bought a collection, and the guy had a 5-row box of metal,
Yeah.
and I had a PMG, a red, was it Alvin Harper?
Ooh,
And I didn't know.
That was a big deal.
I didn't know it was a big deal, and I sold it at Tom Franson's show, I think. And
What
dude,
up,
I
Tom?
just gave it away. Like literally, I was like, "Oh, it's just a numbered card." Like, no
Yeah, you
idea
didn't
the
know
cult.
difference
No idea.
between,
Like
like
no.
numbered 99 Donruss modern card.
The card was
versus-
probably worth $400, and I probably sold it for $4. You know what I mean? It was-
$4?
Yeah, it was
Okay,
probably
well
like
that.
$5 or you know.
You learned your lesson.
But back then they weren't what they are now. But basketball
Nah,
specifically,
that's still kind of a big deal.
it'd be $1,000 card now.
Yeah. So like one of the ones that people don't know about are Topps Tech.
Yes, the
So maybe when did they put out Topps Tech? 3 years ago?
Are you talking about the original?
No.
90s?
I'm talking about the most recent release.
yeah.
When
No,
was
it's
that,
been like
20?
no, it's been like 2015.
Was it really
Yeah,
that
it was
long
like
ago?
15,
Okay, so
16, yep.
they re-released Topps Tech. No.
I'll look it up.
2018 maybe. But anyway,
Yeah.
so they released that set, so now people know about it because they released the Topps Tech set.
Yep.
But in 98, 97 and 98 or 98 and 99?
They had like the
97, 98. Top
98.
Tech is a highly collected set.
Well,
Highly
and here's what
collected
people
set.
don't realize: is with all the different patterns,
Right,
there's literally, if you want to go after the golds,
which people do.
there's literally like 200 Cal Ripkins,
And they're all numbered to 10.
10.
Yeah.
So literally, you're like, oh, am I getting the one gold? No, there's a gold for every pattern.
Right.
And there's like,
And
they
what
go
happened is, for whatever
B,
reason,
17,
that
B, 17.
set has caught the attention of a lot of high-end collectors who are trying to complete all those sets.
Right.
And so that's a set where like you get a John Smoltz number to 10, and you're like, oh, that's a cool card. That's probably like $15 or $25. Nah, it's like 80. You know, it's 65 or it's 100. And, you know,
Yeah.
And so it was fun. That actually,
No, there's 2015 Tops High Tech.
2015. Oh wow, I
2015,
didn't
yeah.
realize it was that long ago.
2015.
So but that is another story of my only good thrift shop find for cards.
I love it.
You know, in the thrift shop they have the bags hanging from the
gosh,
peg,
it's the worst.
and it's the worst. It's all $90.
It's like, and it's in like not even a Ziploc. It's in like those sandwich bags that full.
Yeah. And then they're just shoving
They
cards.
shove
in
cards in there.
and every time I see them, I see like 3,000 cards. So somebody bought like a 4-row box.
This must be like a Goodwill policy. You must put cards in these
but listen.
bags.
So I'm looking at this, and they'll take like a 4-row box. They'll make 40 packages out of them, and I'm like, the time it took you to put these cards in these packages, you lost
wasted
money.
You lost
But
money.
they put like $2.99 a pack, which by the way is $2.98 more than what it's worth.
Unless
I was
you find-
88 tops. So what happened was a collection. I saw a bunch, and I always check them because I have to.
Yeah, you
like
have to.
now when I say that I thrift, this was my business for 4 years.
How many days a week were you at a thrift store?
I was probably digging through thrift shops 15 hours a week minimum.
Okay.
And so this is a daily occurrence, but then like on Saturday I would do like 6 stores in an entire day.
Or when they had a sale or something
When they have
like
a sale,
that.
right?
Yeah.
So I always check the cards because I have to. I can't. What am I not going to check the cards? It's just only a thing that I'm an expert in.
Because everyone's heard stories. It's like, I got to be
Right.
the one.
So I look and it's like $90 on top, just like it would. And I know enough where I moved the cards just slightly to know that they were Top Tech singles.
Mm-hmm.
Now a Top
They're
Tech
clear, like you can see through.
And so a Top Tech single might just be $1 card. I mean, there might be 50 cents.
But what do you remember? How many cards did you get per pack, and what were the pack costs back then?
So like they probably had them at $2.99. I think it was like 50% off. So they're like $1.50 a pack. And all I knew was there was some Top Tech. And by the way, there was like
I'm saying when Top Tech released.
I never bought a Top Tech.
Do you remember that? Were they like EX? Were they super high end? Like very expensive?
No, I don't think they. Oh, like EX?
Yeah.
They were probably priced like EX.
Okay.
They
So like
weren't
$6 a pack, and you only got
They
like
weren't
3 or 4
priced
cards.
like SPX.
No,
SPX
okay.
was another tier
Another up. Yep.
So yeah, EX, $4 a pack, $4.50 a pack.
So you don't see a lot of singles because there weren't a lot of cards in a box.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I saw a few, and then what I did, I started looking at every pack to see any that had any Top Tech in it, because it was pretty easy to spot, and they're thicker too.
Yep.
And so I bought them all. I get 4 golds. 4. And I'm going, if there's 4 golds, what happened to the rest of the Top Tech? Because there's no way he pulled 4 golds.
Where's all
and
the
there
base?
was only like 35 Tech cards total.
Yeah.
So
they never got donated somehow, or they got bought already.
So I don't know if there was just a bunch more gold, or there was a bunch of base.
What was the best player of the gold?
Roberto Alomar was one of them. Glavin was one of them. One was a rookie, a no-name rookie. I'd recognize if I saw it again, but I can't think of his name. And then one was somebody else. So, but four of them.
2 Hall of Famers. 2 guys. And what did those sell for back then?
40.
I remember selling the last
55.
time I had a gold. I had a Cal Ripken Jr. and I sold it for $200.
Yeah. Well, I think that rookie was like $12.
Yeah.
Because
he was average. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the Glavins were probably like 50.
The Alomar was like 50.
Yeah, like 50.
Yeah.
And then if you have a really big star like a Griffey or a Jeter would be $300-400 probably.
Yeah. That sounds about right. So that's the Top Tech. And here's the thing: I didn't know about that set.
Right.
Because I was in college when it came out. That set had completely.
That was Metal Universe for me. Like that was 97, 98 basketball.
Fair enough. I know Metal.
I cut off at 96.
But it's because of blowout forums that I knew about it. There was so much. They have threads just about Top Tech.
Yeah.
And so I remember reading the thread, going, "Oh, okay." I'm like, I didn't know about these, and then I found some like 6 months after.
What's funny to me is all these new collectors coming in, like. Some of them don't even realize what the card companies are doing, like bringing back these old sets. These existed
cool.
forever. So this year they did an extended series for hockey, which is actually like a Chronicles for hockey.
Oh.
So they have rookies with young gun photos of like Crosby's rookie year with Ovechkin. So they're trying to do kind of the. They're doing what Chronicles is doing. The products they don't make are making variation rookies. Making.
Well, the thing is.
It's cool. I like
Upper Deck owns Fleer.
They own the name for Fleer. Yeah, so they're actually.
Are they Fleer cards in
Yep,
there?
and they own
That would be
Skybox
great.
too. So they're actually doing.
Oh, sure.
They're doing a standalone Skybox metal hockey set.
I saw that. Yeah.
That's gonna be cool.
That one and
So
what,
they'll have
what else
PMGs.
were they thinking about? Yeah, why don't they do a Fleer Ultra set?
I know.
That baffles
They used to. They did one until about 2012
Okay. Yeah, Fleer
Hockey.
Ultra and then
with like the gold medallions and the platinum medallions.
But that was not the one I was talking to a customer about them owning Fleer, and there was a set I really liked, and I'm like, why? They could do an EX set
Yep.
for sure.
Oh, by the way, have you gotten your LeBron grade yet?
On the
On
finest?
the refractor, yeah.
No, not yet. Dude, that $100
It's not done.
service is taking forever. I'm still like 6 weeks away probably.
Wow.
Because what happened was we sent it and...
So you won't have it for the national.
No,
No
no,
chance.
because they didn't get... Like, I sent it in March.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't enter it till May. Like
And you
middle
sent
of
it
May.
at the Express or the
$100 service, regular service.
regular.
Regular service is like
It went up.
way
That's
behind.
why. Yeah. So the regular used to be 65. Now it's 100. Now I don't know.
But I
If
sent
it's,
it, I sent it at $100.
we didn't even talk about this. So July 1st, PSA announced they
Yeah.
opened one more service level. So
Mhm.
they opened
200.
Express, which
Yeah.
was 100. Now it's 200.
By the way, I'm never going to refer to it by its name.
So-
I'm just going to
so-
refer to it by its cost.
So Super Express used to be $100 service
Okay.
back in the day.
Yeah.
Now it's 300.
Yeah.
That's what was open the whole time.
All right.
Now they introduced Express, which prior to March, when they raised the prices, was $100 service.
Okay.
Then it went to $150.
Yeah.
Now they reopened it at $200.
200.
So I
yeah.
sent 4 cards in at that level, which
What,
I was
what card did you send?
a Jordan 86 Fleer.
Okay. Man, that would be
really,
justifiable.
a really cool card. This is an 03 Topps Pristine Brady refractor, and they're numbered to 99.
Oh, you showed me that card, yeah.
That card.
All right.
And then I sent a Stardate Kobe rookie.
Okay, sure. That's
and,
a great card.
And this one was the
By the
lowest
way,
end.
that
one.
Stardate card is not that rare.
No, they're just valuable.
It's not
Yeah.
a rare. I think it was 1 in 8 packs, if I remember correctly. I had 4 of them.
1 in 8,
I should-
but they had all the
I'd
rookies.
have 4
so,
Kobe. That
yeah,
four
you'd have
Stardates,
four
yeah.
Stardates, yeah. But EX
What
again.
is-
But think about it. EX again was a $6 pack for 3
Yeah, it
cards.
was.
So
No, it was
Right?
$450. It's $450.
450 back.
Yeah. Which was premium.
And then the last card I sent was this was the one that was the most borderline value-wise. It was a Bowman's Best Jordan refractor from like 97 or something.
But it looked good.
It looked good, and to be honest, I was just like speed of
Yeah.
service. I'm actually hoping they'll be back before we leave
Oh, okay.
because they have been in the system since like the 3rd at the $200 level.
Yeah,
so.
I mean the $300 service, they were only 5 days back or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
Like that was
yeah.
getting done, but that $100 service is.
And I have no idea how many $200 cards got sent in, but I waited because I was like, I'm saving $400 by waiting for them to
Yeah.
open
Oh yeah.
a service level lower. But
Well, the other thing too is like.
by the way, I just got a BGS order back though.
Mhm.
A year.
1
1
year.
year. Which
No,
your
no, no,
order
mine
was
was
yours
1
was
year.
just short, right?
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
This one
okay.
actually went a year.
I thought I had passed a year. Dude, that's. It
feels
I,
like
I
it.
did. I did sell that Jordan Beam team in the
Nice.
auction. So what I did was I put in the auction, and so this is one.
Did
of
you
the
list the LeBron class?
No, not yet.
Oh, you're just.
I'm
gonna-
going to the national.
yeah, so
Yeah.
we're done.
It's in the
By,
K- it's
by
in
the way,
K
Mike and I just had our
price.
conversation. We're done listing cards now through
Yeah.
the national.
Oh yeah.
So
like,
we're
why?
every anything that's. Well, I shouldn't say that. We're gonna list stuff that's like $20 and less that
Sure.
we're not gonna bring. you know?
Yeah.
But we're not gonna list any
But
graded
anything you can
cards.
bring,
Yeah.
like, I pulled stuff. I pulled listings off. Like I pulled all my Herberts off and bring the Herberts and bring in the
We pull them off as we sell them, which is a
right,
little
but
bit of
the
a
way
pain.
I do it, it's like I kind of needed to redo that listing anyway.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, well, I'll just cancel something.
I'm very curious to see what this show does. You know, like I'm just my expectations are very
What's
low.
really
I don't
weird
know, it's
about your expectations are low
low. Yeah, I don't know why.
for the national.
Yeah, it's just I don't know.
I
Maybe
mean,
I'm just-
mine are. I'm not so sure about the promoters for the Dell show. They don't seem like they're quite on the ball like for the Des Moines show.
Yeah, Des Moines. Who knows?
Because the Dell people, and if you listen to my rant, I had some rant, but they
Yeah.
were very organized.
Yep,
I mean,
they
they
were.
were very on the ball with their
Communication and their
communication
marketing.
and getting that stuff. I mean, much credit to them for that. They just dropped the ball on one thing.
They
in
put
my
a lot
opinion.
of. Yep.
But the Des Moines guys don't seem like I still haven't gotten a confirmation. I sent an email to him too. I'm like, hey, we're on the list, right? He goes, yeah. And I go, you're going to get a welcome packet soon. I'm like, oh, okay, or whatever packet.
I hope before we
And I'm
leave.
like, we're a week and a half out. Like, where's my, because this is like, where do I go?
Now
Where do
I'm
I
thinking
drive
about
to?
for me in Des Moines, I think I'm gonna take different. I think I might actually bring some wax that we have a lot of because I don't know how many people are gonna be selling wax there. Whereas the National, we don't bring any wax because it's just like blowouts.
Well, yeah, blowouts there, everybody's there.
It's like we're never gonna.
Yeah. I'm not gonna take out Dave and Adams.
And we're actually gonna be open. The shop's still open, and so we leave that for our regular customers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm bringing wax, but not wax I have on my shelf. But yeah, so you're down on, you're low on that. What do you mean by that though?
I feel like and like Mike said, Mike and I had this conversation, but it's been the local show from like April to this last Bloomington show.
Yeah,
there's been such a steep decline, but part of that is I sold a lot of the big cards I have, so part of it is like a little bit depends on your inventory, right? When I have good cards, I sell more money worth.
Oh yeah,
that
was one of our conversations a lot. You'd be like, "Hey, how are your sales?" I'm like, "I don't know. I tripled my inventory, so it's kind of hard for me to,
So that's always a
compare,
thing,
yeah.
right? I mean,
but I mean, there's gonna be so much.
There's gonna be so.
Do you
many
mean
people
from a sales standpoint, your expectations low, or from the experience standpoint?
No, not from the experience.
Oh,
the experience
okay.
is gonna be amazing.
Say,
no, sales wise, I'm just like, are people gonna be? It feels like there's a lot of caution in the market, which isn't a bad thing. But
I do, but I think the National.
I'll say this much. You know what?
So much happening that you feel like you have to participate.
I'll say this. You said something on the podcast a while ago that I found to be actually true by experience at this last Bloomington show.
You've known me for a long time. You should know anything I say is true.
It's always true by experience.
Okay.
I just have to experience it to confirm it's true.
Right.
But the collectors are what's holding up the market right now because the cards I sold at this last show, I sold to there's a lady who collects PSA 10 Jordans, and I sold her 3 or 4 of them at the Bloomington show. And she's not buying them to sell. Like, she never sells cards. She even told me, she's like, it's really hard for me to sell cards.
And so if the price gets too high, it's hard for them
So it's actually
acquire.
good for her to be – she wants to be buying now at this market. Because I actually sold her a card. I sold her the LeBron Chalk Toss Chrome card.
Oh, yeah.
Used to be like – I had a PSA 9. They used to be like $800 or $900. It was down to $400. I sold it to her like at comps, which she's like, I've been eyeing this card. I'm glad it's – so what I found to be true is –
that's a real thing because when the people come in the – so if you've been a peer collector, and you're used to a price point, for a long period of time, years, decades, and then all of a sudden it triples, you're like,
that sucks.
No,
I'm not buying it.
Like I could have bought this. Like one of the things that
now hopefully that's the time where as a collector you decide, is there some stuff I want to sell? Because now's the time to sell it.
Right. And so, like, I can give you that example was the big man on court Jordan that I pulled.
Which you should have bought in Chicago.
In 2017, it was $300. And I'm like, man, that's triple what I sold it for in 1997, 20 years prior, right? Well, it's over. I haven't checked it in 6 months, so God knows what it's worth now. But it was over $1,000 last time I checked it.
The 97?
96, 97. And so I don't know if we want to look this up. I guess we are.
Oh, you're gonna find out real quick here.
So I just I should have bought it for $300. I wanted to reacquire that card. It was a card I pulled. It was a big hit.
Do you want to know how much it sells for, John?
Oh Lord, are you telling me I should have bought it at $1,000?
Oh my gosh. Well, was it
not the Z-Pete?
Okay, not
the Z-Pete. The Z-Pete is an ugly card. I pulled the base card, and that card's the nicer card anyway.
Wait, so it's still the die cut.
Yeah, it's still a die cut. It's not. It doesn't have that weird foil on it. The foil card sucks.
Okay, well then it's not. The Z-Peats are crazy. A Z-Pete.
Oh, Z-Pete.
A Z-Pete 8.5 just sold for $8,200.
Well, yeah, because I want to say the Z-Peats were like $3,000 or $2,500. So those went up a lot.
Okay, so a base.
Yeah, base raw.
A base raw. Okay, a base 8.5 BGS 8.5.
Yeah, that's
sold
raw.
for $2,300.
Yeah, so it doubled since
Still
it went up to a point where I said
a raw just sold for $1,800.
Yeah, so I mean, but that happened because like I want to buy it. I want to buy it for myself, but then it tripled, and I'm like, well, no, and now it doubled again.
Well,
so
here's
I'm
the thing.
Behind
but here's the thing,
trend.
John. You're actually think about this. You're a card collector,
yeah,
but you're also a dealer. When you want to buy a card,
yeah,
that should tell you the market wants that card because like you're going to be more selective on what you buy, right?
I've been wanting to buy that card for 20 years, so
Because it's
I
just
could
a
have
really
bought
cool
it for
card.
$150
It's a
plenty of
really
times
cool
too.
card. I sold a Pippin.
Oh,
I
that's
haven't had.
great card. Big Man, if you guys don't know this set, just go to eBay and look up 1996 Z-Force. You don't have to put
Skybox
Z-Force.
Z-Force, yep.
Just put 1996 Big Man
Big
on
Man
court
on
and
court.
look at any card. It's a great card. It's so colorful. It's die cut. It's thick. It's like, and I pulled the Jordan.
It's unreal.
And I sold it an hour later at the show. And then and literally the next day I'm like, I should have sold that card. I like that card.
Oh, man.
Now I did pull a select certified Brett Favre press proof numbered 250
Yeah.
in 96. I sold that an hour later, and I don't regret
Wow.
it one little bit because screw Brett Favre.
So, exactly.
Yeah.
Someone sold a Big Man on court Jordan on card auto
Oh wow!
authenticated by Beckett.
Holy,
$7,000.
that seems cheap.
It feels like it should be worth more. Well, they're saying the autos were $5,000. The cards were $2,000. I mean, the
Yeah,
card's not.
but-
Actually, the card's a 9.5.
The problem with that theory though is there's only one on that card. That's a 101.
It's probably
That's an eBay 101 where I won't make fun of the guy for putting it that way. Who? First of all, how do you get a Michael Jordan autograph, right?
Here's
and then
how.
two,
You
you're
wanna know
willing
how?
to put it on a $500 card.
You
or whatever
had
it
you
was.
had to
Basketball camp, yeah.
your basketball camp would be
Yeah.
the one, but the other thing would be this. Like, Jordan used to come to actually we have a customer who sat next to him at Trent Tucker's golf tournament. They did a poker game.
Okay.
He said he sat next to Jordan for like 4 hours. And like
Did
he
you
did
say anything to him?
yeah, I mean like they talked,
He's
but
like,
like
"Hey."
but there were people who were like definitely I don't think anyone like bothered him like an autograph, but
Right.
like that would be something where if he was at a golf event and
Yeah.
you had that card
Because
with you, he would sign it.
Everybody, even when they're under contracts like Upper Deck, they're all willing to, like, in a personal situation, sign
yep.
for you, but they just don't do it very often.
It's not like, hey, line up here, but it's like
Right.
a one-off
yeah,
signature.
like,
right?
oh, he sold my sister her house. Like, okay.
Right.
How
are we doing, Evan?
I think we're deep.
Five.
Hour 25. I
solid.
think if you're going to National, I'm at booth 309. What booth number are you at? You can check out the map and see where Clint's at. He's got a little arrow. It's on the bottom left. Or bottom right.
958.
958 will be Absolute. 309 will be myself, Pop Culture Archives. Come see us.
There, how many booths are there? Is there 1,000?
It's 1,000.
1,000,
I think
1,100.
effectively.
With
and then, of course, the exhibitors are more than one booth.
Yeah,
they're,
yeah. Like,
they're massive.
well, and let me throw this out there for anyone going. This is the time where if you have any damaged cards you've ever pulled from packs,
Yep.
if you have old redemptions you want to
Old
clear
redemptions.
up, if
yeah.
you have, I've even
So
brought
I've never
cards.
done that. So.
Yep.
So is it the strategy? So I got a bunch, right? So I had a shop for a year and a half, right?
Right.
I don't have that many, maybe 12. So the thing is, you bring them all your unused redemptions, and they give you one item.
Yep. So what they do is they calculate the value of all the players. So obviously, let's say if you have a bunch of like Kobe's or something, you
Yeah.
can only get Kobe packs because
Right.
they're not giving out those autos because
Yeah.
they just don't. I don't think they're willing to give up their stickers.
But I've heard that if you got a stack of just trash redemptions, you actually get something really
So
cool.
here's what you do. Like if you have a bunch of trash redemptions, you'll probably get what's the lower black box, which is a one on-card auto.
Yeah.
The box is worth about $200. They
Yeah.
have two different. They have A's and B's. The A's
Oh.
are Curry, Giannis,
Oh,
Luka,
okay.
like higher end. Like I think they value those boxes between $400 and $800.
And you can mix sports, I'm assuming.
They're mixed sports.
Yeah.
You can pick. Yep. A lot of times though, the key is if you're actually going to do that to get there early because they run out of those boxes
Sure.
for each
Because
sport.
they're
you know,
doing it based on, like,
what they have.
yeah, that is like a feeling. I mean,
Yep.
they're not spending an hour analyzing. They're like,
Nope.
okay,
So I
you
mean,
got
I remember
all right.
bringing. I felt they were very generous. I brought damaged
And then you can bring
cards
active redemption too,
Yes.
ones that are still
'cause they-
eligible.
because they want
Right.
to save themselves
Yes.
the responsibility of having to fulfill that later,
Right.
so they can just clear out your
And
account.
so a lot of times at the show,
you could have already requested it online
Oh, really?
for the redemption to be sent. If you haven't got it yet, they'll go into your deal and clear
Ooh,
it
I got
away.
that John Morant that still hasn't been sent to me.
So you could clear that out for something. And
Interesting.
I'll say this: the black boxes sell really well if you want to not
Yeah.
open it and just sell it.
Well, one of the things at the show, when you've got a booth there,
Yep.
is I don't know. You probably have a better idea how many times to ask because you're at your booth the whole time. Is you'll have people going, "Hey, do you have unused redemptions, cheap ones.
Yep.
And all they're trying to do is just build up a big monster stack to
And
try
roll
to
it, yep.
drive up the value of their submission.
Yep.
To get those. So, like, if you have them and you don't want to go over there, you can just sell them to people, too.
For
like,
sure.
People are always asking for unused redemptions.
And then the other thing I found out is I've actually had autographs that over the years have faded.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You
And
told me about that.
Upper Deck
I forgot about that.
Upper Deck let me exchange that, and they were incredibly generous. So think about this. This is
what was that one? Do you remember what that
it
auto was?
It was about a $40 auto of an old school
You got that in a collection.
football player, Deacon Jones. Is what it was. The auto was faded. I took it to Upper Deck. They gave us a $200 Leon Draisaitl hockey auto.
Yeah. Okay.
So like way over the top.
I remember you got
but
that
they
in the
have hockey
collection. You were
autos.
really disappointed about the auto being so bad.
It was literally like gone.
Yeah.
The sticker was there and there was no auto. And it could have been left in the sun. So it's not. I'm not
No,
saying.
right,
I'm
right.
not
It's
saying
not
it was Upper Deck's fault. No.
But they're like, yeah, well, but Upper Deck is the best customer service manufacturer there.
For
is.
sure.
The fact that they don't have licensing is a travesty.
And I'll say this much: all these card companies, if you've had issues, they're highly motivated to have great customer service
And
at
resolve
the
them
show
there, yeah.
and to resolve them. So
And it's face to face, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's there's something that happens in email where it sounds,
and
or even over the phone.
And
it's
Panini's
like,
terrible at responding to emails. So this is where you can actually
Yeah.
get stuff.
you yell
done.
at them a little
Yeah,
bit.
you can yell at 'em. That's what I
Depends how far. Well, there are people who have Griffey Pujols. I think of one more name. Griffey Pujols, Nolan Ryan triple autos. They've been waiting for 8 years to get because one of them doesn't want to sign. You know?
Right.
So
And
they're highly.
And this is the
frustrated.
place that. Oh, I'll say this much: you can actually, they'll have. Let's say you have a Luka redemption.
Yeah.
You can ask for another Luka auto,
Oh, that's
and they'll
interesting.
have a measure of them. Once those are
I
gone,
didn't
then
know
they'll
that.
have to give you a black box. Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I actually exchanged.
Have you ever tried to hit them up before the show starts on setup day?
Yes. I'm trying to think of when they started, but I remember exchanging a Frank Robinson redemption auto. Now, this one I didn't feel like they necessarily were super generous, but they're like, here's your options. And one of them was like a Jeff Bagwell gold auto to 10.
I like
And
Jeff
I ended up doing that as
Yeah,
a straight
I like
trade.
Jeff
I was like,
Bagwell.
all right, that seems fair value kind
Yeah.
of thing. So you can do that too, where you don't have a take
Did
a
you do
black
that
box.
before the show started?
No, I did that on I think
Okay.
Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, I was
I
wondering
stood
if
in
I could-
line. It actually took a half an hour.
No,
or
that's what I'm
something.
saying. I wonder
Yeah.
if I can hit them up like an hour before they open and be like, hey,
Well,
I
and
gotta get back to my
JSA,
booth.
I'll be bringing
Like,
stuff to
can
get
I do this real
authenticated.
quick and just get the hell out of here?
Right.
Which I gotta think they would appreciate because then I'm not one other person in line.
Yes.
You know, because you're kind of standing around for a couple
And if you
hours.
need cards authenticated, I just saw PSA released. They're going to
I
grade
saw
cards
that
on
email.
site, $250.
Is it $250? Oh, that's not
But
bad.
it's only going to be done by the end of the show. It's not going to
But
be done by
$250 is
the
not a
end of
bad
the day.
price point though.
It's pretty high. I used to do
I
the
thought walkthrough was $500.
no. Last national, I graded cards for $50 and done by the end of the show.
Really?
And that seemed like a lot. I was like, $50, man. They're normally $20. You know,
Yeah.
it's 2.5 times.
Well, yeah, but oh, that's well. I guess the different worlds, but yeah, $250. It seems like it was. Giving
There's certain
$500
people that
card.
don't feel comfortable enough sending a card in to
they
get
do
graded.
not
They
wanna send
only
it
grade
now.
them in person.
No,
So.
no, I'm going to tell you something about the U.S. mail, and we can
Yeah.
maybe end with this. I looked on eBay. I
Yep.
shipped 28,000 packages in 6 years, and there's been one lost package.
I know.
So
People are paranoid.
don't worry
It's not-
about
yeah, no.
the postal service.
The
Like,
postal service.
the people
is,
that work there, they kind of suck.
Yeah.
The carriers are awesome,
Yeah, for sure.
but the whole like
System?
logistics infrastructure.
How
is
many
just
items
fine.
they move? How many billions
Yeah.
of pieces?
And that's
how
probably a
few-
lot of
yeah.
stuff, but that's because they move billions of pieces.
Well, and
Like,
what happens is one person hears some horror story,
Yeah.
and then they assume. Yeah, like to your point, I can't remember the last package. I
Yeah,
might not even have had one in the last 5 years. I don't even know.
I've had stuff go on scenic routes. Like
Or
where you're like,
disappear,
but they got there eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, I had one where like
They
literally
get misplaced. Maybe.
2.5 months,
It
and
got-
it kept bouncing all over the place. Still got there, but
Nice.
I had one. I'll tell you this: I had one where I sent it to a guy.
Mhm.
It was early day, like right when I started my business, and he said that he had moved 9 years prior, 8 years prior.
Yeah.
Still got forwarded to him properly.
Oh wow,
I was blown away by that.
that is crazy.
Like, he was like, oh, I moved 8 years ago. It's probably coming back to you. And so I was waiting to get it back. And then I checked tracking one day. I'm like, hey, did you get this? He's like,
Wow.
yeah, that was weird.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, like, don't worry about the post office.
That
But
is
you're not
super-
wrong. Like, there's, like,
Yeah.
I mean, if I got a big enough card, like, I've told you this before. If I sell a big enough card, let's say it's $40,000 card and it's going to Chicago, I might just drive to Chicago. Like,
Or
like, I mean, I don't
pay
know.
a courier that does that.
Yeah,
specifically
or
a little
armored
more.
car or something. But like the flying, if you sell a card for $100,000, a $500 plane ticket
Yeah.
to deliver it, hand deliver it, is not a line item that means anything in
Right.
that sale.
Right.
That's not even. I mean, the insurance is gonna be more expensive. So I get that standpoint. Like, if you got a treasure, bring it to the national. All right, I think we're good. Thank you so much for listening. And if you're going to the national, we can't wait to see you.